We are like off the cliff.
We're
we are
pitching
falling.
a Netflix special.
Welcome back to After 12, ladies and gentlemen. We're with Andy Crestodina.
PowerPoints, power lunches, conference calls, reply to all, endless meetings, constant check-ins, and so much wasted time. Are you sick of the BS? So are we. It's time to take our time back, rework the way we work, and make every call a call to action. This is a podcast for people who want to stop talking and really start connecting. This is After 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to After 12. 12 for 12's original podcast series that explores cool companies, brands, messages, and makers, and what compels us to take notice and become fans. Joining me today as contingent on his virtual Pilates schedule is my life partner and partner, Josh Rush.
Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner. We've got a killer show for you today, as always, and I know that I say that every time, but our guest is the co-founder and chief marketing officer of Orbit Media, an award-winning Chicago-based web design company. As a top-rated speaker and marketing expert for the past 20-plus years, he's provided web strategy and advice to companies all over the world, to audiences large and small. As well, he's also authored hundreds of articles on content strategy, search engine optimization, social media, and analytics, and is the author of the Content Bible. That's right, Content Chemistry, the illustrated handbook for content marketing. Internet, please put your virtual hands together and welcome Mr. Andy Crestodina to the show. We'll add sound effects there, Andy.
that was quite an entrance there for you, Andy.
I know. I feel like the pyrotechnics. I could feel that. The heat on my face.
Andy, last time we interviewed you, because you were no stranger to Josh and I, but we interviewed you back in October of 2014 for episode 6 of our 12 for 12 audio podcast. That was 50 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm fairly confident that this time we're in a computer simulation. So welcome. I was going to say we're living in truly intense, uncertain times.
Yeah.
Between Trump and racial tension and anxiety and unemployment, the upcoming presidential election.
Yep.
How are you feeling, Andy?
I am stressed, but publicly optimistic. That had to be rock bottom. I think that had to be rock bottom. It's going to get weirder, but I don't think it'll get worse. Anxious, generally. A single word. I feel anxious. I mean, it's strange days for sure.
How's the family, wife, kids, everyone okay?
Family's good. I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Everything's on pause for them. I'm maybe an early adopter of the new normal because I signed him up for class. I've got him in like a swim class now, which is surreal. Like I go to this private swim school, empty, massive spaces everywhere. If you're willing to go in, which you'll feel very safe, they're going to take your temperature. You're going to wear a mask. Massive spaces with nobody in them. It's like a private school. Like he's the only student there.
Wow. And there's no water in the pool either?
It'd be too dangerous, Adam. No, that might transmit microbes. No, it's a water-free swim class. That's the new normal.
Oh my God, I hate microbes. I mean, with all this going on, what's going on with Orbit and your clients, your customers? How are people feeling that you're talking to?
We are. It really depends on your living situation because that's not your work situation.
Yeah.
If you like who you live with, you're generally happier. If you live with little people that bother you a lot, you're generally less happy. If you're living alone, I think those are the ones that I worry about. Anybody who's out there who is solo mission months on end, that's tough. But mostly good. We're a little better than in a better position than most. We're mostly busy. We're not starving, and I'm grateful. I'm just grateful for that.
Well, I mean, with consumers now spending more time at home and online than ever before historically, I mean, online shopping and home deliveries have spiked. There's been a huge boom in e-commerce really across the board for players big and small. I mean, is this affecting, it must be affecting your business, right?
We don't do that much e-commerce, and so much of B2C e-commerce was just swallowed up by Amazon.
Yeah.
So there's B2B e-commerce. I generally, it's not just purely negative because the importance of the internet didn't go down, like you said. I don't think the e-commerce trend helps us much.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a lot of the stuff that we're getting through now were possible projects in the pipeline for a very long time. So it's kind of like it's a little nudge. But
these are these existing customers that were kind of moving to new strategies, or is it new customers that are spinning up new businesses?
It's mostly new customers. Most of our business is based on new customers because we're project based. There's more work we're doing now for current clients or past clients, and that has remained steady. But yeah, it just accelerated all the trends. People who never tried ordering online for groceries now do that. There's lots of things where people wouldn't have done that, now they do that. But
there's really no early adopters anymore. They're all just adopters, right? I mean, it's kind of adopt or die.
Yeah, that curve. I think we're past the top of a lot of those curves of like, I'm willing to try that. Now I'm doing that. Now that's my routine.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say, Nora, in healthcare as a physician, some of the things that they were so slow and lax to do now. I mean, she's consulting with patients online a lot more, and the patients are turning on their cameras and they're confident to do it. You've got myriad portals from WebEx to Skype to High5 to Zoom, which we're on right now. So I mean, for those players, those technology players, it's been a huge boom. Are you seeing an increase in the number of clients that come in as tech players?
The mix, I don't think. I mean, we're a little bit of we don't have so many clients that I can spot a trend like that. There are definitely some. We've always had clients in that category. The shift to online, and like I spend 3 hours a day plus now on video calls. I've used every platform. I use Zoom a lot. But yeah, telemedicine is a great example. Remote work, I think that we'll have a better chance of competing nationally now than before because it's became more of a level playing field. Who cares where your web developer is? I'm going to hire and look for talent from anywhere now. Why wouldn't I? Everyone's remote anyway. Even if they're like 3 blocks away, what's the difference? Amanda Gant, you guys may know, she moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
Can't tell the difference, wouldn't know. But yeah, the Zoom thing is constant and always. I have, do you guys want to see my new favorite Zoom trick?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
This is, it looks like this. Oh, wait. I'm having a connection problem. You can change your name. You can change your name to reconnecting.
That's awesome.
And then just turn off your video and pretend like, sorry guys, I'm actually not reconnecting. I'm not reconnecting. You just turn off your video and mute yourself for whatever.
That is awesome.
So yeah, that's I think like a high schooler came up with that. It's on Lifehacker, but may have used that once or twice.
Now the world knows.
Well, Andy, you say you're spending a lot of time on conference calls and but you've pre-COVID spent a lot of time on the road doing live events. We're in the live events business, which is completely destroyed. How has that impacted you directly, just with your speaking circuit?
Can we borrow some money?
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. So that has been a major go to market for us. Like speaking has led to projects. Some of the projects we're doing now are things that I met people earlier from events. Those things have gone virtual. I don't think the value will be as strong for the organizers, the sponsors, the attendees, the speakers. I'm at home.
Why do you think that is? What's holding it back now?
Well, even the best platforms don't really emulate the face-to-face. I suspect you guys agree, your people, your businesses, I mean, we all are strong believers in the value of high touch interactions, and it's just not as high touch. So it's good. It's just, it can't ever be the same. There's not like the random element. It's not like I see this person in an elevator and now we're going to get a cocktail and like, hey, who else? Oh, look who just walked up, So I think that it will be negative. I think there's a long tail on it for us because we have such a long pipeline. But yeah, zero travel time has been kind of nice. There's kind conference I'm speaking at tomorrow, I would be on a plane to Seattle right now. Instead, I'm here with you guys.
You'd rather be on that plane, huh? First class, having a scotch.
Trapped with you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam hasn't had a high-touch engagement or interaction in months.
He loves the high touch, though. And
I mean, I've been high, but I had
high touch and low touch.
All kinds of touch. Yeah, any touch.
It's funny because I think of this shift, and I mean, it came on so immediately that I don't think there was much time to acclimate to it. And for me, I've been working at home for 16 years, so I've already acclimated to it. But I didn't realize that it was when I traveled for work that I got my social interaction, and now not traveling for work and being, paranoid delusional when it comes to like germaphobics and
really
and OCD. Yeah. So I feel kind of like, okay, what is there to do outside of my home or inside of my home? And that's why I've taken up pornography. I mean, I'm making it, a lot of it, at volume.
I always thought that was a good fit for you.
You'll find your audience one day, Adam. I promise you. It's not you.
Right. This is when we talk to niche market players. Very niche.
What are we going to do? This is like, for me, I'm the only one that left in the office. I'm still in the space. I'm like you, Josh. I come in, I check the mail.
Same.
So, but they joke it's like Shawshank Redemption. Can you see my wall? Look at this is day.
The number of days?
Yeah, I made the mark this morning. It's like day 75 or something.
Which doesn't seem that long considering how long all of this feels, right?
And how much longer it's going to go on.
Yeah, I mean, total time, it's much longer than that. That's just days in the office. But yeah, I need like the Rita Hayworth poster and to get a little rock hammer to start making I was trying to escape from the, where'd he go? Just a hole in the wall, get out of here someday.
Man up and vanished like a fart in the wind.
Well, it's funny. According to Josh's alma mater, I don't know if you knew this. He's an Edelman transplant, but Edelman's Trust Barometer. According to that, 65% of consumers say that brands that respond to the pandemic will have a huge response or likelihood for customers to be more willing to buy their products. Threadless's Jake Nickel in a previous episode quoted Mr. Rogers saying, always look for the helpers. Are you seeing an uptick in the content that your customers are making or that you're making simply to help?
Well, another way to describe that is, remember like the Maslow hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
It's like people have like physiological needs at the bottom and safety needs going all the way up to like the, self-actualization where they're like improving their lives. Everyone just shifted down on the hierarchy. All of our audiences have physiological health anxieties. So if you don't address that, there's industries where you're just screwed, right? No one's going to trust you to come back in. No one believes that it's a safe place, that it's a clean place. The way that we've adapted our content to this is to be empathetic. Here, I'll show you. This is this fell off because it was taped to the wall. I'm going to put it back. Does my give with no ask. Literally, I've taped this on my wall the first day. This is your tone, confident, calm, and compassionate, and give without asking. So yeah, we had to, we wanted to measure the impact to give people something to put themselves in a frame of reference. So we did a survey of agencies and found what percentage of agencies are reporting what kind of impact. We put out content to help people adapt their copywriting, be more empathetic. We like to do research though, and that agency survey was kind of interesting. We repeated it again later. Now it's a new topic, like what percentage of companies got PPP funds, and who's hired or fired because of this. So it's how do you stay relevant? Well, you can't ignore something this big. How do you address it properly? You can do it with data. You can do it with love. You can do it. You can do it with without content. You can just start conversations, which you guys are doing beautifully. Maybe it's time to move past a content strategy to like a conversation strategy. If you don't know what to say, just listen. This is a beautiful example of that now. I can think of a few others.
That's why Adam and I aren't saying anything. So
Yeah, you're winning.
Keep going, please.
You're winning. It's not a bad point, right? What is your conversation strategy? Who are you talking to?
To that end, think about, again, whole industries that have been completely upended. The give without asking strategy goes so far so long as you can stay solvent.
It's funny.
Right.
I was just jump on that. Gary Vee was always talking about giving value, and I don't even think about value anymore. I think it's about that empathy, having a high EQ, and really connecting from a very human point of view. And I think we have strayed from human. There's been a delineation between professional and personal. And now that line is gone. There's just one. You're just a human being, and you're in a pandemic, and you are. At the back of everyone's mind too is, I can't wait till life gets back to normal. But what does normal mean? What is that next new normal? And I think again, every conversation I've had, the guests that I've talked to are hoping that this leads to some inflection point, some cathartic realization that the way that we've been operating as business providers is too impersonal. I don't know.
Well, and there's Josh, what were you saying?
No, I was just kind of to jump on them, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are doing well in all of this, right? Because
our heads are above water. Web development hasn't stopped.
Okay. All right. But would you say that right now you feel, you said you feel anxious. Is your anxiety, equal parts weighted to finances, or is it just the psychological kind of emotional toll that this is putting on you and your people and your friends and family?
Well, if you are, to Adam's point, empathetic, how could you not be popping Xanax right now?
Yeah.
Because you care about the people around you, and people are just freaked out. Just you got one trick is to not use it in bed, because that's going to keep you up all night. But they call it doom scrolling, where you just go through endless social posts or news headlines that are just
that's how we start our day. That's how we start every morning.
Not a good way. Yeah, exactly. To go to bed and wake up with that pipeline of anxiety, and then I don't know. People are helpful just to relate to someone and hear how they're doing, and to feel a connection with the person. But I think that fortunately, we invented the internet right before this. In time for this, so now we can all work remotely. Unfortunately, we invented the internet before this happened, and so now we can just see an endless stream of freaked out headlines and people.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Do you think it's a coincidence that, at a time that has called for empathy across the board, business and home life, that, we've been faced with really, I think, a very novel virus and a novel administration in the United States anyway, where pathological narcissism and the avoidance of empathy is the play here, right? I don't know.
It's a perfect storm, though. There's disillusionment all around. What does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be, part of this country right now? It's we feel more torn and divided than ever. And you throw in this pandemic, and it's like, wow. Wow it's surreal.
What a waste, though. This could have been. So let's say you're worried about polarization. This is a problem. We'll have a better democracy if there's better dialogue, like I said, conversation. This would have been perfect, right? For someone to just stand up and be a hero and just say, no, I don't. This is not about politics. Let's be safe, guys. Put on a mask. This is not about politics. We're going to protect our seniors. There's nothing political about public health. That shouldn't have been. It was a missed opportunity for true heroism and leadership. And that gap is it's just, now you're seeing, this is surreal. There's not physical walls being built, but if people in some states decide to not protect themselves and the rates spike, people in other states who have decided to protect themselves and have lower rates are quarantining you. What is this? Are we going to draw lines? Are going to be you can't actually travel from a red state to a blue state? This is
Well, I know it's. I need to get to Chicago from Atlanta because we've got our business there, and,
sure.
and there's things that need to be done, and it's like, can I be gone for 14 days? Like, can I
Quarantine.
I can't do that right now. I mean, thank God for my business partner who's there, but it's like, and I don't know how enforceable it really is, but if you're thinking about it practically and trying to be responsible, I mean, that's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's public health. It's not, this isn't, that shouldn't be political, but if the public health policies in different places led to different outcomes, it looks political in the rational response.
Yeah.
This was, here's my swag though. I did this early. All of our team got them. I'll send them some to you guys. Is this like swag of the century? The branded mask.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my ninja garb logo, ninja garb. Pretty sweet, right?
We
should be masked right now, actually.
We should be. It's interesting, Andy, at a time that, marketing agencies, advertising agencies are actually starting to create differentiated messaging, real substantive ads and outreach. We're also at the rise of cancel culture. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's something that our dear friend Mark Salak and I talk about quite a bit. Again, is that just another reaction or polarization of what's happening?
It looks polarizing. It definitely seems to be. I think it's another response to a set of policies and insensitivity, and I think that you can watch that and wonder, like, does this make sense? Is this going too far? It's like the what do they call it? CHOP. What do you like? Let's kick the police out and take over part of the town.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Yeah. Let's not cancel that. I don't know. I'm left, but I'm a rational thinking human.
I know. My daughter's into this whole ACAB thing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? All cops? You can't. No. Once you start saying all anything,
exactly.
Yeah.
You're deluded.
And that's the problem. That's again them just being part of the problem is shutting down rational thinking.
Yeah.
Being less, ending conversations, deliberately triggering the other side. How is that helpful? That's only helpful if you've concluded that game on, culture war, we're going to fight to the death. I hope we haven't concluded that is the path we're on. My wife has concluded that, actually. She's take no prisoners culture warrior. I'm not there.
Well, and I hope that doesn't manifest into an actual civil war.
Not imagining that, but I'm going to willfully not imagine that for now, please.
This is we're
this is grim.
I think we are off the cliff.
We're
we are
pitching
falling.
a Netflix special.
Welcome back to After 12, ladies and gentlemen. We're with Andy Crestodina.
Wow.
All right, well, let's get back on target to really, what we wanted to bring you on the show.
Good icebreaker. Civil War, check. Anything else on the...
Let's talk about marketing.
It's the hunt for cool brands and a dystopian future. It's happening.
All right, that's a fair point. Then, the real reason that we brought you on the show, Andy, is to ask you, what should small and mid-sized businesses like Echelon be doing right now to reach out and get more traffic inbound to make more money to ultimately save our jobs and our company?
Well, what I'm sure everyone's instinct led them to, and what you may have already done, is to reach out to your most valuable audience before you try to market to grow the audience, shore up those relationships. I didn't hit 100, but my goal when this first started, I'm going to call 100 clients. And I just started calling people, just checking in. Again, give with no ask. What can I do? You guys okay? It's you don't want to ask the question in a way that they're just going to ask you for a discount, because that's not good for your business or your team's employment. But offer to help generally. Yeah. There's, if you're moving down the hierarchy of needs and as a business, you're concentrating on the highest value actions, you got to concentrate on the highest value audience, which is the current clients, which Josh, you just asked me about. So you're right there already. Past that, I think that you need to be more efficient in your marketing and not just create stuff that goes out into the void and hope that it connects with somebody. I think it's a good chance now to use the so-called account-based marketing tactics. So this is another example. You guys is like a giant meta show, like After12. You can contact a brand, have a conversation with them. They may be a prospect. That's not the main point of the conversation, but to include your A-list possible clients in the creation process, it's called zero waste marketing. 100% win. No matter what, it connects. If it adds value, it grows relationships even before it's published. So I think that's...
And maybe you'll get some free shit, you know?
That's swag. Swag is a nice side benefit. Did you get one of those one-wheelers? You guys have done some great episodes. If anyone watching this, go back.
Wheels.
I have two.
Do you really?
My wife has one and I have one, yeah.
It's two wheels. That's
Yeah.
There. I mean, I tell you what. I mean, you know, just Adam, you asked like, well, you know, outside of work, what do we do outside of this home? You know, for us, like getting on the one wheel, and we don't do it enough, but like just getting out and going for a ride.
Yeah.
I mean, just cathartic, clears your head. Those guys are great. And I'm glad we have one wheels in our garage. Right.
There's so much great stuff on this channel. Quick rec for anyone watching. Press the subscribe button and scroll down. Go look at some of those past episodes. They're hilarious.
And I just transferred your funds, Andy.
There you go. Thank you.
Wait, Venmo.
That's what we call
Thanks.
That's giving. That's giving by asking.
So more good news though. We're in a recession. Unemployment, if it ticks up to 20%, could lead to full-blown depression, right? Motivating some companies to scale back marketing in favor of short-term cuts, which we've seen before. According to a Kantar market study research, brands who stop marketing to save will see an estimated 39% reduction in brand awareness following the crisis. I mean, so what should marketers be doing, planning, and thinking about in the next 6 to 12 months in order to balance the marketing spend with their company's survival?
Well, this conversation happens between CMOs and CFOs. It's happening all over.
It's happening right now,
It's happening right now. So in that conversation, you have to connect the dots to the CFO and help them understand what makes sense now, how this... You know, you're totally aware that you need to be more efficient than ever, and to look for opportunities. Advertising costs have crashed. So reconsider I'm not that kind of marketer. We're content marketing, not advertising, but we should all be reconsidering. I got this email. It says like prices of outdoor slashed.
Yeah.
Buy a billboard. Prices of PPC down. So paid social down. People just assume that they need to pull back. So as they do, it creates lower ad spend and opportunity across the board. So yeah, I think it's a good time to reconsider how you are, what would give you the best ROI. So I think there's probably very cost efficient ads on social, maybe here on YouTube, that people should definitely take a look at.
Do you follow Neil Patel at all?
Sometimes.
Andy?
Yep.
Yeah. I was just, you know, in prep for this, was just looking at some of his stuff as well. And, you know, he was showing that you know, ROI on ad spend pre-COVID was somewhere in the, you know, mid 30% kind of range. And now they're getting nearly, you know, almost 60% kind of ROI on paid ads because the cost has come down, obviously.
Yeah.
And, people are, you know, certainly looking.
Sell that Facebook stock because they're going to get slammed, right? That means that there's less advertising. It's just basically like a huge decline in money flowing to those duopolies, Facebook and Google. Therefore, it's an opportunity for anyone who's looking for cost-effective audience reach. But what percentage of the viewers of this will consider that? It's a tiny number, right? That's the point. That's why. Be counter-competitive and accelerate into the turn. That's who's going to be ready on the rebound. Now, people that were the slowest, that's what states are trying to do by opening up, right? Is to speed up out of the turn. They weren't in the turn yet, so that's a problem. But as a brand, we should
just crash into the wall.
Yeah, just like that.
And welcome back to NASCAR.
So yeah, I think it's reconsider your spend. Don't necessarily cut it off. Just look at reallocation.
Well, I mean, back to the you know, kind of the events conundrum. I mean, most, especially in B2B marketing, I mean, 30% or so, most marketing budgets are spent on events. You know, and obviously that represents a an opportunity for savings or to be able to kind of insulate against the fallout. But that also represents just a huge engine of marketing. Where does that go from here? I mean, we don't see events coming back in any significant way until spring of next year, maybe fall of next year.
Some of those people are looking for, so their the event was canceled, their sponsorship dollars, where did they go? They're looking for a place to put that. So there are event organizers that are creating products to give those advertisers some place to put those dollars. I think that was one of the first things you heard. It's like, well, events are done. Where's that money going to go instead? I think that there was
virtual events.
Yes.
Some maybe. I'm not feeling that as a one-to-one replacement. I don't know. Josh, what do you think of that?
I mean, so we agree that you can never replace, the value of face-to-face and what that means to be able to establish rapport and ultimately transact business. And yet we still have the need to connect, right?
Right.
And so, in the absence of really high touch in large gatherings, I think virtual will have to take, if not center stage, it's going to have to take the lead and try and do some heavy lifting here. And I think it's, virtual and augmented and various forms of mixed realities have been on the rise, but still kind of kept at arm's length because of the cost of the hardware, the cost of development, the fact that you cannot replace like grabbing a drink or dinner with somebody.
Right.
But there are a lot of benefits to being able to meet virtually, as we're proving right now. We discussed earlier. So I think there's an opportunity here to take risks, and failure won't be an absolute failure. It'll be kind of falling uphill, I think, when it comes to virtual events.
Yeah, I heard one way in which virtual events may be better, and that is if you go to a live event and you see a session, and then there's Q&A, which is normally like somebody with the courage to raise their hand, and then they wait for someone to kind of get there with the microphone, and then they stand up and they talk for half a minute, and then they finally ask a question, and then there's like two of those. Or God forbid you have to get out and like get to the aisle and wait in a little line for the mic. Q&A in virtual events is such a lower psychological barrier. People are just willing to type in their question. So One of the ways in which I've heard a virtual event actually having higher value than in person is if the presenters commit to staying until every question is answered, then you could have a 40-minute session with 90 minutes of Q&A,
right? With
tons of interaction, because the psychology is no different than being in a social stream. People are chatting, people are talking, people are asking, everyone's answering. It's a big conversation. Q&A at live events is pretty lame. Virtually, it actually has a chance to beat the original format of live.
I mean, Adam, did you share with Andy what our little secret project?
The pictures?
Not that one. The other
camming, the under-desk camming that Adam's been doing this whole time.
So Andy, it's still on. I have not. No. Let's hear your elevator pitch, Josh.
So you did not tell Andy about
No.
surreal events?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, great. Well, we, as part of our big pivot, when COVID, I guess it was probably the last week of February, we were actually planning to do the Experiential Marketing Summit. We had like some great concepts pulled together, and we were really looking forward to it because business was booming. Things were going well. And then, the winds kind of shifted quickly, and we realized like this is going to be a problem, COVID that is. And, we started putting together a plan to build a virtual events platform that solves for a lot of the issues that you're kind of describing, like where many virtual events fall short.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it's surrealevents.com. By the time this airs, that site will be live. We'll be taking people through demos, but it's built on Unreal Engine. It leverages pixel streaming technology, so it's like Netflix, it's like a Netflix style game on your computer. So you're not held back by GPU. We're running all Amazon GPU processors, and it's designed to scale so we can get thousands of users on the platform at once.
And designed to connect that physical to digital. So with like drop shipping, or ordering through the platform. If you want it, we have a food court, for instance, that's like, would be powered by Grubhub. So if you wanted to order while you're in the space and get a burrito, have the burrito sent right to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with a spatial audio, built in as well. So if you're in that courtyard and there's a conversation happening to your left or right, you'll be able to kind of detect that. And it's meant to run on desktop or your whatever device you're on. It's not truly, it won't be built for a virtual headset out of the gate because not many people have that hardware at home, and won't for some time. But yeah, we're really excited about it. We'll have to take you.
Wow, no, put me on the list for beta testers. Let's do
Absolutely.
it.
Right.
Yeah. Content Jam 2021.
Well,
and we also put you on the list for under the table recording beta.
Yeah. No, I have a second screen. I'm on that now. Yeah.
Well, it's like Second Life. It's second screen.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right,
Well, Andy, thank you so much for taking the time. I think, in terms of Q&A, this was like a great opportunity for us to Q&A with you. I'm sure a lot of people have been reaching out to you now more than ever, especially because, podcasting platforms or this type of conversation is more needed today than ever before.
You guys have a conversation strategy. Keep it up.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. And if you want to learn more about Orbit Media, just hit orbitmedia.com. And if you want to learn more about Andy, look at secondscreen.life.
Signing off now.
Signing off. Thanks, Andy.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Andy.